Hi, I'm Denise Collins, and
I'm Dot Windish.
let's begin with Nicolette LaFontaine. At 2 months of age, Nicolette and her twin sister Simone were adopted by successful vineyard owners Luc and Charlotte LaFontaine. They lived in Merlot, a small town in southern France. While the sisters were close while they were growing up, their relationship at present is quite strained. Nicolette had a happy childhood, receiving much love and attention from her parents. She went to the best schools and eventually learned the family business. She now runs the winery and has also invested in several 55-plus active adult communities. Although she didn't start playing pickleball until her age 40, she has become a superstar among her peers. It has become her present obsession. She doesn't play for the prize money, but for the recognition that comes from being a winner. She is not well-liked and tends to be loud and harsh, especially when she's had one too many. And in fact, she can be downright nasty to family, friends, and employees. But despite all of her faults, she supports the local church, its small convent, and several well-known charities. Dot.
Simone LaFontaine. Simone is the twin sister of Nicolette and was adopted by the same parents, Luc and Charlotte. Her childhood was not a happy one, as she tended to be rebellious and disobedient. As a teenager, she ran away twice, crashed her new BMW, and was suspended from school for fighting with her classmates. At 16, she was arrested for drunk driving and was sentenced to 6 months community service at St. Bernadette's Church and Orphanage. She was often seen playing pickleball with the children. She has always had an explosive personality and angers easily, especially when placed in an embarrassing situation. When her unacceptable behavior continued for the next couple of years, her parents gave her an ultimatum: either straighten out or get out. Now, Simone may be a troubled soul, but she's not a fool. She started working alongside her sister and learned the family business. She developed a passion for antiques and collected many small items. And although she seemed to have settled down, she never felt as she was Nicolette's equal. Yes, she may have settled down, but she was not happy.
And now we have Margot Green Taylor. What can be said about Margot? Margot is an American politician looking forward to re-election in this year's Senate race. She was born and raised in the southern part of the U.S., and she had a typical southern upbringing. Margot has always had aspirations of becoming a well-known political figure, and maybe even someday becoming the first female United States president. Recently, there has been some unrest in the American Senate, so Margot decided to go abroad for a couple of weeks. While vacationing, Margot went vineyard shopping, or should I say hopping. Her last stop was at the LaFontaine Vineyards, where she met Nicole. Now, Margot loved wine and was always quite interested in the wine business. She wondered if somehow she could become a part of it. Besides her political career, which was now in question, she hoped that one day she could perhaps own a vineyard in the States. So when Nicolette met her and made an offer she couldn't refuse, she jumped at the opportunity. But did this offer go as she had hoped it would? Maybe yes, maybe no.
Edith Monet. Edith is a very famous French singer and film actress. She has been singing and acting since the age of 7. Her mother, also an actress, encouraged her daughter to pursue an acting career. Her father, though loving and caring, developed an alcohol problem and sadly died at the age of 37. As an adult, Edith participated in many charity events to benefit those struggling with addiction. She met the LaFontaine family at one of these events. They became friends and saw each other frequently. Now Edith, with all her fame and fortune, was not a very warm or tactful person. She would often speak of family and friends in a negative way. One day, while she was being interviewed by Euronews, she mentioned the LaFontaine family and spoke of their past history. It was something told to her in private and wasn't meant to be broadcasted to the entire country. Their friendship became strained, but for some reason, they kept in touch. When Edith was in her late 40s, she was nominated for an Academy Award. It was her first nomination, and she planned to throw a huge party and invite the family and friends to her Paris estate to celebrate. But she didn't know this party would turn into a disaster that would change her life forever.
Now we have Monique Emiliani. Monique was abandoned at birth, and she was raised by nuns at the St. Bernadette's orphanage in Merlot, France. She was given the last name of Emiliani in honor of St. Jerome, the patron saint of abandoned children and orphans. At the age of 18, she was forced to leave the orphanage and to try to fit into a world she knew nothing about. She never had a real home, never had anyone take care of her. Life was hard living on the streets, trying to get by one day at a time. Desperation set in one day, and trying to grab some food from an elderly man, she pushed him. He fell, hit his head, and became unconscious. She was arrested, convicted of attempted murder, and she was sent to prison. She was now thrown into another frightening chapter of her young life. She shared space with violent and crafty criminals of all ages. Monique soon realized that in order to survive, she had to learn how to take care of herself. One thing for sure, Monique Emiliani would never again be that warm, caring person she once was. Through all of these tough times, Monique kept in touch with her only friend, Sister Mary Maria Frances O'Brien. After many years of incarceration, she was told that she was about to be released. Where would she go? What would she do? She must call Sister Mary Maria Frances O'Brien. Hopefully, she would know what to do.
Mimi Boudoir. Mimi was born and raised in Merlot, France, just down the road from the LaFontaine vineyard. She came from a strict middle-class family with lots of rules and restrictions. She has 6 brothers and sisters, all of whom were encouraged to be independent. At 16, Mimi took a job at nearby pickleball courts. After closing the courts at night, she would practice with her friends and became quite good. While walking home one evening, all of a sudden, she heard tires screeching, glass breaking, kids screaming, and then nothing. 3 weeks later, she woke up in Merlot General Hospital. Having survived multiple surgeries and several broken bones, she swore that one day she would find out who had done this to her. As the months went by, she gradually regained her strength. At 18, she moved to Paris to attend college. Although physically healed, Mimi suffered through many years of nightmares and headaches. She recently moved back to her hometown of Merlot and presently resides at the same 55-plus active adult community where this year's pickleball tournament is to be held. She plans to enter the tournament and then finally solve the mystery that has haunted her for many years.
Now let's talk about Cosette Chardonnay Zinfandel. Cosette was born in Melmac, France. That's another small town about 30 kilometers east of Merlot. She was an only child of Juliette and Louis Chardonnay, and they happened to own and operate the Chardonnay vineyards. Cosette was always tops in her class. She was very popular, very athletic. She graduated with honors from the University of Bordeaux with a master's degree in agricultural engineering. Being an only child, she returned home to join her parents in running the family business. She married at the age of 22 to Lucas Zinfandel. After joining the family, Lucas became the chief engineer in charge of harvesting and sorting of the grapes. They lived in a cozy little cottage well away from the main house. Life was good. When Cosette turned 35, she became the master winemaker. While attending a local meeting of the Grape Growers Association, she met Nicolette. Over the next couple of years, they formed a lasting friendship, and now they have been friends for 20 years. When Nicolette invited Cosette to participate in this year's pickleball tournament, she was extremely excited. She was determined to play well and to even win the tournament. She was up to the challenge, and she began to practice every night. Cosette was always very cheerful, kind, and forgiving. That is until one devastating night.
Chief Inspector Jackie Bonheur. Jackie has lived in Merlot since the age of 3. She attended the local public schools and graduated with honors from the Paris Institute of Political Studies. She is loved and well known in her community. She has never married, but has 2 cats and a dog named Fifi. Jackie is a 20-year veteran of the Elite Investigation Unit specializing in murder cases involving the rich and famous. She joined the Elite Unit after a fellow officer, who happened to be her fiancé, was murdered. Jackie is the first female to join the Elite Unit and has risen to the rank of Chief Inspector.
Our final character is Detective Celine Dupont. Celine was born and raised in Paris. She joined the police force to follow in her father's footsteps. After a close friend was murdered, Celine joined the Elite Investigative Unit. Together with Jackie, they solved the murder. She is now a 15-year veteran and has been Jackie's partner for the last 12 years. She is known for her superior intelligence and her ability to find the smallest clue to help solve a case. Celine is married, she has 3 grown children, and although she loves animals, she says she has no room, absolutely no room, for dogs, cats, or any other pets. We now will return you to the clubhouse.